Welcome back everyone, you're in for a treat in today's video. We have all been guilty of tasting raw cookie dough before because it's so good, but these three flavors are completely edible, so you can eat as much as you want, and they're even better stuffed inside an ice cream cone, topped with a swirl of vanilla marshmallow, and dipped in a chocolatey coating. And the Cookie Monster flavor is a must-try too.
Cookie!
This is the ultimate ice cream cone that won't melt so fast and you can actually enjoy it. So be sure to keep on watching! Guys, if you like no big recipes, hit the thumbs up button. You can go ahead and taste this cookie dough right from the mixing bowl. The only step that requires your oven is to heat treat your flour. And all I'm doing is evenly spreading 1 cup of the flour onto a parchment lined baking sheet and popping it into the oven for 10 minutes at 350 degrees. Please don't skip this part and ensure that the flour is safe to eat. Just check up on it to make sure it's not burning. It may start to smell like cookies though, which is always a good thing. Now we can mix all the ingredients into our bowl. I microwaved 1 stick of butter for 20 seconds to melt it, and adding in a half of a cup of light brown sugar, a quarter of a cup of granulated sugar, and a quarter of a teaspoon of salt, then giving that a quick mix. I wanted to welcome you. If you are new here, thank you for stopping by, and make sure you join the party and subscribe to the channel for new fun recipes and tutorials every week. Next, I'm just pouring in the heat-treated flour along with 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. I like the taste of the clear vanilla, but you can use whichever you prefer. Also going in is 3 tablespoons of milk, and after everything is thoroughly combined, you can't forget about those chocolate chips. I'm folding in a half of a cup of semi-sweet, but feel free to use milk or dark chocolate chips. It's all about what you like, and our classic chocolate chip cookie dough is complete and ready to eat. The next flavor we are making is the Cookie Monster, which is basically the same ingredients with a few different swaps and mix-ins. I'm chopping about a half of a cup of mini Chips Ahoy into quarters. I don't know about you, but these were my favorite snacks in my lunchbox growing up. Comment below what yours was. This flavor is going to be a sugar cookie dough, so we have 1 stick of the melted butter and swap out the brown sugar this time for 3/4 of a cup of granulated sugar with a quarter of a teaspoon of salt, and you can cream the butter and sugar together. After that, incorporate 1 cup of heat-treated flour, 3 tablespoons of milk, and 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. Of course, we can't have Cookie Monster without the blue gel food coloring. This one is the Chef Master in Sky Blue, and gel is what will give you the most vibrant result. You can always add more rather than take away, so add a few drops at a time until you reach your desired color. This is what it looks like after 2 drops. I added in 2 more to intensify the whole Cookie Monster look. Last, for the mix-ins, we can fold in the cookie pieces for the ultimate Cookie Monster dough. The final flavor is the birthday cake, which is super delicious. I'm slicing a half of a cup of mini golden Oreos in half, and to the same sugar cookie recipe from the Cookie Monster minus the blue food coloring, mix in a half of a teaspoon of cake batter flavoring. It really is amazing and takes this to another level. For the mix-ins, dump in some sprinkles. You can never have too many sprinkles, right? As well as the golden Oreos, and all of our cookie dough flavors are ready to put into the ice cream cones. I start by filling the cones with chunks of the dough and carefully squish them down without breaking the cone until completely filled to the top. This dough is very flexible for the most part. I just work my way around those mix-ins. Don't let them get in your way of the dough. I will be sure to provide the recipes and recap all the important tips from this video in the description box below. Let's top off these awesome cones with the vanilla marshmallow topping. These next steps are a bit of multitasking, but it can be fun and kind of like playing a game, so bear with me. First, I'm mixing 5 teaspoons of unflavored gelatin with half of a cup of cold water and setting it aside for 5 minutes to bloom the gelatin. Once the 5 minutes are up, I'm microwaving the mixture for 20 seconds. And into your mixer, you want to have a 1/4 cup of corn syrup and that same gelatin ready to go with the whisk attachment. We'll come back to this in a second. Now grab a heavy bottom pot and dump in 3/4 cup of granulated sugar, a 1/4 cup of water, another 1/4 cup of corn syrup, and a pinch of salt. To make the sugar syrup, I'm bringing the mixture to a boil, and once the stove is on, that is your cue to turn your mixer on low speed. The goal is for the gelatin to become frothy and for the sugar syrup to reach 240 Fahrenheit. On a thermometer, this is also the softball stage. At this point, you can immediately start streaming the sugar syrup down the side of the mixing bowl, slow and steady, but do not pour it directly into the whisk or your marshmallow won't form properly. Beat on medium speed for 5 minutes, then for another 5 minutes, increase your speed to medium-high, and finish for 1 to 2 minutes on the highest speed. We are giving this marshmallow a workout. Finally, mix in 1 teaspoon of vanilla paste for some flavor, and you will see the marshmallow comes together into a beautiful fluffy texture. We are looking for a medium peak that flops over like a bird's beak. As you can see, it holds up perfectly for when we dip the marshmallow into the chocolate. It is time to load this marshmallow into a pastry bag fitted with a 1A decorating tip. The technique is to squeeze until the mound covers the top of the cone, quickly pull up, and repeat with a smaller one, and finish with the smallest. For best results, I recommend doing this immediately after whipping it up because it gets stiff really fast and we want those fluffy clouds of marshmallow. Once you are done, feel free to store the cones in the fridge while we make the chocolatey coating. It is very similar to the method I used for dipping frozen cheesecake. I'll explain a little later why not to use this recipe for dipping strawberries. Here I have 2 3.5 ounce dark chocolate bars for a total of 7 ounces, and it's important to finely chop it up so that it melts quicker, otherwise it will take a long time. And we're combining this with 7 ounces of Ghirardelli dark chocolate melting wafers that you could find at the grocery store. And after everything is chopped up, I'm also preparing 2 more batches with the same measurements, except with the white chocolate bar and the white melting wafers for the colored dips. Into each bowl, spoon in 3 tablespoons of refined coconut oil on top, and you want to melt this mixture for a round of 30 seconds. After that interval, give it a stir and microwave for as many 10-second intervals as needed until completely smooth. Take your time since you don't want this chocolate to overheat above 90 degrees. To color the white chocolates, I do recommend a powder candy coloring as a better option for this particular recipe, but I did not have any, so any oil-based coloring such as Chef Master or Color Mill is safe to use. It just dries softer and is not as crunchy since the coconut oil gives the chocolate more of a runny consistency. Just keep that in mind, but use what you like best. To achieve the Cookie Monster color, I mixed a few drops of the blue Chef Master with a few drops of Color Mill in the shade Tiffany. Last but not least, my tips and tricks for the perfect dip are to use a deep bowl with a wider opening. Normally I dip strawberries and other treats in a tall mug, but you don't have much room to see the cone with a narrow opening unless it's a mug with a wider neck. All you need to do is tilt the cone slightly and turn until the marshmallow is completely coated. I promise you, it's not as scary as it looks. The marshmallow isn't going anywhere. Just gently shake off the excess so it doesn't drip down. I mentioned earlier that this chocolate should only be used for frozen treats and marshmallow because it acts as a coating, but isn't ideal for strawberries since it is too thin. Also, as far as serving, if you aren't able to eat them or deliver to a customer right away, store the cones in the fridge, but let them come back to room temperature before eating or the cookie dough will be too hard. I hope you enjoyed making this unique end of the summer treat with me and you learned something new. It's Christina here. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.